How do you know if you're smart enough for a software development career? I've been through so many rejections at this point that I'm wondering if I'm just not capable of getting a job, or not smart or talented enough to have any company interested in me. If you made it through an entire BS in CS degree from a proper university, you're probably pretty smart. That coursework is tough. I am 4 years into this field and I'm still questioning if I am smart enough for it every day. You'll look back at this thread someday when you're making the big bucks, and laugh. Looking through your post history, I'm not convinced you actually want a software development career. If you did, you'd listen to the previous dozen posts with people asking you post an anonymized resume and get the help to land the first job. But honestly, it kinda doesn't seem like you actually want help. You did the degree, so you're clearly smart enough for the field. But you might start with a therapist if you can't see that. You should consider another explanation on why you cannot land on a job right now. The market in a shitty state. Intelligence is certainly an important factor for success in software development. But there are many other skills and qualities that are just as important, if not more so. For example, problem solving, persistence, communication, attention to detail, and the ability to work well in a team are all important qualities for a successful software developer. So, instead of focusing on whether you're smart enough, I'd encourage you to consider whether you have those other skills and whether you have a genuine interest in programming and technology. There are many stupid recruiters which will say you don't have experience to disarm you, so you should get lower salary. If you had the experience, don't buy the shit. The real question is, are you dedicated enough? If you can build and finish something then yes. Just keep making projects yourself in GitHub to prove to yourself and potential employers. Been doing it 13 years now and still not sure. I can all but promise you there is no skill flaw. You just pretend that you are smart enough. Did you graduate with a CS degree? If so, and you didn't cheat your way through, you are probably smart enough for a job. That does not mean you are getting a top jobs at places like Google. But you can probably find something. I know people who got SWE jobs at insurance companies and places like that. It's not big bucks or a sexy job, but it's work. Fizz buzz. Doing well at interviews is a different skill set to doing well in a job. Nobody knows if you're talented or not if you're not actually doing the work. A lot of the younger grads here on Reddit seem to think the whole thing is over if they don't get a job 3 months out of university. You're right. No company is interested in you. And that's the same for me. And just about any other developer. No company gives a shit, and why should they? Work on a side project you can show people. Nobody wants a developer who doesn't develop anything. Just look at some of the sorry asses on this subreddit. If they somehow survive in this field, so can you. Simple. You invest 20 years, then check again. Nobody is smart. Follow the 10,000-hour rule to master anything. Are you applying to everything or only one companies like FAANG? Every people would need to start somewhere. You are. By completing 4 years of good college in CS branch. And haven't learned anything but landed a good job. Don't think they're all smart in software. When you actually do software development, most of these people don't know what they're doing and just go with the flow. But they're enough to make software that someone else is willing to pay for. Bear in mind most of the people who are willing to pay don't know anything about software development. The reasons why the application process seems to be so hard with LeetCode questions is because they want to filter the thousands of applications they get. Just pray you one day get a realistic hiring process that asks you questions that are work-related. You can make a decent living at it with persistence. Not every programming job is some ridiculous puzzle. Plenty of grindy shit. Hard work, talent. But also people aren't set in stone. We're great at adapting and growth. No one is born a SWE. Plus the market is rough right now and entry level has always been oversaturated. Keep looking, explore other industries as well. If you know how to problem solve and look through documentation, you'll be fine. You don't have to be some wizard. Don't worry, there's plenty of dumb people in the field. Worry less about whether you're smart enough and more about whether you enjoy it implicitly. If you really love it for its own sake, you'll do well here. I promise. Most software engineers are dumb as the rocks they work with. You'll be fine. I graduated with CS degree and tried Java full-stack development in a 3-month bootcamp and tried doing LeetCode. Did not enjoy it at all. Switched over to DevOps instead. Much less code-heavy but still close enough to the product. If you graduated college with a degree in CS, you're already much smarter than you need to be to do most SWE jobs. Most SWE jobs are just calling APIs and/or creating new APIs to call. CRUD essentially. If you passed calculus, you can figure out software development. I barely got a C in Java 101, so I knew not to pursue it. True. You could be a total dumbass. Have seen it firsthand. Can you press Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V in succession? Congrats. You are smart enough for software development. Honestly, I don't think it takes being particularly smart to be a software engineer. Just determination and curiosity. Be willing to be wrong and be corrected. As this field can offer some humility if you listen to it. But it doesn't have to dissolve into imposter syndrome and self-criticism. If I learned anything, it is that competency just comes with time. How do you get out of hell? Keep going. You got this. Other people's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. Work on your mindset. If some of the people I went to university with can graduate with a degree in CS and get a job, then you can. I didn't think those guys would get a degree or a job in the field, but they're succeeding. I feel you. This is exactly my current state, and the question keeps haunting me. There are Mensa members undergoing the same struggle as yours. Are you going after the hot blonde that every other guy in the room is going after? Or would you be willing to talk to her cool friends that aren't quite so attractive, but look like you'll have a great time? If you have the skills, then you are smart enough. If you can learn your way around computer science topics, then you're smart enough. Imposter syndrome is so common in this field. It's so broad. Finding a job is hard. And the job itself is hard. I think we tend to forget that the biggest part of CS is the ability to learn and solve problems with computers. Not just finding a job or knowing a particular skill. Wishing you the best on the search. The greatest advice I've ever heard for this sort of insecure question is it's almost impossible. Someone dumber than you hasn't done this before. Entry level has low demand and high supply. The job market is oversaturated. You're not dumb, you're just in late-stage capitalism.